This is it. The end of the school year. 2 more days of classes, then final exams, then the ball, and then we go home. I sleep in on Monday to reduce some stress before the exam. When I get back from class, I notice that the exam snack packs have arrived just in time. That definitely makes studying a little bit easier. On Tuesday morning, someone knocks on our door. "Good morning," Professor Potsdam says. "Here are your exam schedules for the day." She hands us a piece of paper, and I take the schedules back inside as I shut the door behind me. "Wait, there's a mistake," I say as I look over the paper. "We're all scheduled for the same time." "Don't you remember? The final is a group exam," Virginia reminds me. "Does that mean if one of us fails, we all fail?" Ellen asks nervously. Virginia shrugs. "I'm not sure." "Well, I guess we'll find out." In the last class of the year, I decide to take red magic with Professor Grabiner and learn a final spell, Freeze. It costs 25 mana to perform and draws energy from a target. It causes damage, blocks movement, and may interrupt spells. After the class period, we arrive for our exam as instructed. All 3 of us. "Hello, my spirited fillies," Potsdam exclaims. "Today's exam works a bit differently than usual. You're all going into the dungeon together. Your task is to find the crystal orb and use your energy to light it up before time runs out. It will not be easy to find, and you will face many dangers, so you need to work together to conquer this challenge. Good luck." She claps her hands and the world starts to spin. For a moment, after the teleport, I'm not sure what happened. There is complete blackness all around me. Am I in a dungeon? Am I lost somewhere in a void? I'm standing on something, I think. Then Ellen casts a light spell and our surroundings become dimly visible. We are in a vast, dark space, empty and silent, far from any wall or landmark. "Put that light out," Virginia scolds. "It might attract monsters." "But we can't see," I remind her. "If we all huddle around it, the light won't get far," Ellen offers. We crouch closer together. "Okay, now what?" I ask. We wait for a moment, but this time, no booming voice speaks overhead. Apparently, Professor Potsdam's instructions are all that we get. The rest is up to us. Before we start, I wanted to say, Tori, I'm sorry if I wasn't supportive enough of you earlier, Ellen ventures. "What are you talking about?" Virginia asks. "About your marriage," Ellen adds. "The professor said we should treat it like it was something serious. And I thought if you were really married, everything would be different. It was easier to deal with it if it was just this crazy, awful thing that happened to you. Thinking of you as a real teacher's wife was scary, but it probably was scary for you too." "Don't feel too sorry for her," Virginia snorts. "She totally has the hots for Grabby." "What?" Ellen asks. "Virginia!" I hiss, flushing crimson. "Come on, it's so true," Virginia counters. "You like him?" Ellen seems shocked. Sort of, but it's not like that," I say quietly, glad they can't see how crimson my cheeks are in the dim light. I Think we're starting to become friends, that's all. There's a lot more to him than he lets most people see. He's a very intelligent man, Ellen offers. Exactly. Well, if you're friends, I don't suppose he's given you any hints about how to solve this dungeon? Virginia asks. Of course not. That would be cheating. Yes, but did you ask? Virginia goads. No, I wouldn't. He'd give me hints about something if it were dangerous or important, but not just so I could earn extra merits. Ellen nods. That's how it should be. Virginia shrugs. Well, let's see which way we need to go. She casts a spell, and the air around us swirls faintly. That's strange. That usually gives me a direction. I guess we'll have to look the hard way, Ellen offers. The crystal has to be out there somewhere. I shake my head. This place is huge, and we have a time limit. We need a plan. I have an idea, Ellen and Virginia both say at the same time. They both stop and look at each other. We need to find the crystal, Ellen says. That's the goal. That's how we win. We need to find the boss monsters, Virginia counters. There's bound to be one, and if we don't handle the main threat, it could sneak up on us. I shake my head. What we need is to find the way out. We're lost here. If we walked away from this spot, we couldn't find it again. But there has to be a wall somewhere, and we can follow that to the exit. But we can't use the exit if we haven't found the crystal, Ellen argues. It will be easier to search for everything else if we have a reference point we can count on, I explain. I suppose that makes sense, Ellen agrees. So, how do you want to do it then? Virginia asks. We should spread out as far as we can, still see each other, and then just walk straight until we find an edge. This can't go on forever. Don't forget those spells that make you change direction, Ellen reminds us. We might need to leave a trail. Those traps only hit one person at a time, Virginia says. If we keep watching each other, we'd notice. I nod. I'll use inscription to mark our path with arrows. Carefully, we make our way into the dark. Ellen was right. There are traps in the way. However, our precautions are enough to keep us from getting lost. At long last, we find our way through the dim and dark to a dungeon wall. Unfortunately, there are no clues about where to go next. It appears to stretch on forever in both directions. There are only a few small rocks on the ground that don't seem to provide any hints. Now what? Virginia asks. We've used a lot of time already, Ellen says. We need to pick which way to go. We could split up, but we might not have time to find each other again. If we roll those rocks and listen for when they hit, we could tell which way is closest to something interesting, I offer. Virginia shakes her head. Those are too small to roll. One boulder? Coming right up, I say smugly as I cast stone shape to form the individual rocks into one large boulder. Now we only have to roll it. Left first, I think. I push the boulder using magic and it rolls away. We wait patiently, but we don't hear anything. If it hit a wall, it must have been a long way off. Well, that way's a dud. We should go the other way. If we spread out like before, we can sweep through this area, Ellen offers. Virginia nods. Let's move. We hurry through the darkness, keeping an eye out for any signs of monsters or treasure. And then I step on a pressure plate and feel invisible knives slicing at my legs. My quiet yelp warns the others to be careful, but I've definitely taken some damage. I've lost a lot of health, and I don't have enough mana to cast a heal spell on myself. Virginia, I ask quietly. Heal spell, please? Virginia casts a quick spell, and I instantly feel better. We move on, now watching our feet for further trouble, when Virginia calls out, "Monsters! Incoming!" A burst of flames explodes around Virginia's position, sending dark figures scattering. There are at least 3 of them out there. Something I can't quite see reaches out of the darkness, clawing at me. I try to avoid the claws, but it's not very effective when I can't see what I'm facing. Luckily, Virginia sees me in trouble and sends a spell in my direction, finishing off my target. Once I'm not being attacked anymore, I take a quick look around. Virginia appears to have triumphed over most of the little beasties, but a yelp from Ellen shows that she's still struggling with one. Virginia casts a spell and green magic wraps around the monster, dropping it to the ground. "Got him!" Virginia cheers. "We must be getting close now." We hurry onward, looking every which way for a sign of the crystal. Finally, Ellen calls out that she sees something. There it is. It's glowing on a pedestal set over a large stone pillar. "How do we make it work?" I ask. "I don't know," Ellen replies. "She said we should put our energy into it." "Look, there are little indentations around the edge," Virginia points out. "I think we put our hands there." Virginia steps closer and touches the rim of the pedestal. Energy sparkles to life within the crystal. My turn now. I put my hand on the pedestal, but nothing happens. I don't have enough magic left to power it. Wait, I have an idea. I use sacrifice to literally sacrifice some of my health to refuel my magical energy, then touch the crystal again. I feel a strange rushing sensation as power flows out of me and into the crystal. Finally, Ellen approaches the crystal. When she touches it, it throbs with light. "Did we do it?" I ask. The familiar sensation of teleportation washes over us, and we find ourselves standing in the sunlight in the main quad. "Congratulations, all of you," Potsdam says. "You have successfully completed your freshman year. That will be 5 merits for each of you. Now, go and relax. You have a dance coming up to enjoy." We did it. We're done. And I have reached the maximum number of 50 merits that we can earn for 1 year. Hopefully, Professor Grabiner will be impressed with me. I remember when I bumped into him in this very spot on the first day of school, and he thought teaching me was a waste of his time. I know he still isn't happy that he had to marry me in order to save my life, but I managed to complete the year with full merits and learned every blue magic spell that I possibly could. I still wasn't sure what it would take to make him really see me as his wife, but hopefully this was a good start.